Hey guys, it's Taylor and welcome back to another video where I talk about health, wellness and things I love to incorporate into my daily life to make me feel just absolutely amazing. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a review of Creation Cacao, ceremonial grade cacao. Now, I've integrated this into my daily life. I wanted to tell you about all the amazing benefits that I've experienced by using this product. I won't go too much into the history of cacao, although I'm sure there are much better resources out there on the internet that can kind of introduce you to cacao ceremonies. But for this video, I'm going to be sharing my personal experience and how I like to consume it on a day-to-day basis. To give you a bit of a rundown, there is a difference between cocoa and ceremonial grade cacao. Ceremonial cacao is the purest and the most traditional form of cacao, created by fermenting and drying the beans, peeling the husks and stone grinding them down to a paste before setting it into a block. So this is about as pure as you can get, and this is why I like incorporating it into my day-to-day life. So from a very young age, of course, I was eating chocolate before I was vegan, and regular chocolate does contain a lot of dairy as well as processed sugars. When I started my whole food vegan journey, I stumbled across cacao and cacao ceremonies, especially at moon ceremonies where you meditate and you set an intention where you drink the cacao together in a circle. And it's really beautiful because it is a heart-opening exercise and you do really learn to appreciate what's in front of you, and it also helps increase your mindfulness, especially when it comes to food. So I believe cacao ceremonies are really fantastic if you are trying to create a better relationship to the food that you're eating. After drinking cacao at ceremonies and also at different vegan retreats, I decided to purchase cacao from the supermarket. So we're talking about the superfood form but in a powdered form. And I did have a friend who would have the ceremonial cacao in a block, and it was very beautiful, but it was quite inconvenient as you had to shave it down before you prepared it. Whereas this cacao already comes as blocks, so it's a much quicker and a more convenient process if you want to consume cacao on a day-to-day basis, or if you want to incorporate it into your morning routine. I do enjoy cacao in all forms. I did purchase a powdered cacao from the supermarket that you mainly use in smoothies, but it was quite powdery when I wanted to make a hot cacao out of that. So this is really fantastic because I feel like you don't even need a plant-based milk to make a hot cacao. You can just heat it down and put it in the blender, and that will create a really foamy, rich and luscious cacao for you. So for me personally, I like to set an intention before I have a cacao, as in a mantra that I'm trying to work with, or something that I'm trying to call into my life, where it might be abundance, it might be health, and I'll put a few little affirmations you can use as well while you're preparing your cacao. And I like to sit with a hot cup of cacao, and I like to just either say aloud or internally those mantras a few times before you take a sip. This cacao is really fantastic to swap out for a coffee if you are trying to completely reduce your coffee intake or just reduce your overall caffeine intake. I've noticed sometimes, especially with work, the amount of coffees that I drink does tend to creep up on me, and it gets to the point where it is detrimental. So what I've been doing is, instead of reaching for that extra cup of coffee in the early, mid, late afternoon, I will have a cacao instead, and then I'm not staying up all night because I've had too much coffee. Cacao has a much lower level of caffeine than coffee. It does contain some caffeine, but it's not as addictive and it doesn't cause the same jitters that coffee does. And while I absolutely love my morning brew, I definitely love an espresso or an oat latte, it is really nice to change it up a little bit. I've also noticed that consuming this cacao during my moon time creates a much nicer process, and I just really enjoy it. Of course, us women, we all love chocolate during that sort of time, time, and this being so high in vitamins and minerals, it really does give your body that boost and that support that it needs. This cacao does have quite a few benefits, and I will read them out to make sure I don't miss any. Cacao is known to improve overall health and vitality. It boosts your mental clarity and mood. It increases long-lasting energy, and it also increases your blood flow and therefore your creativity. As a creative and a videographer, this is really important to me, and I always feel super inspired whenever I have a cup of cacao. So cacao in general is really high in theobromine, which is known as a heart opener and is very supportive for heart health. Cacao is also known to lower your blood pressure. It's also rich in antioxidants, and it's also high in magnesium and potassium. While this cacao is also perfect to incorporate into your breakfast or sweets or smoothies, I prefer to keep it simple and have it as a hot cacao. I really like to have it just as is with some date syrup, and I also have been putting it with a bit of cinnamon and a bit of salt, and then also separately some cayenne pepper, and that's what I had today, and it was so amazing. And cayenne pepper is also medicinal as well, as it doesn't irritate your digestion tract, and I really love it. It's just super spicy and yummy. My favorite way to make the cacao is to actually start off by putting just under a tablespoon of cacao into a Ninja bullet blender thing with the desired amount of date syrup, a bit of cinnamon or cayenne pepper, putting in a little bit of cold water so you don't burn the cacao, and then topping up the rest of it with hot water and then whizzing it in the blender. I find this helps to make it a very quick process, and it also evenly distributes all of the cacao, and it makes it nice and foamy and super yummy. Thought it would be nice to film next to the veggie patch, but I feel like I can feel a spider somewhere. Okay, I think we're okay. That is how I love to consume cacao. Let me know if you've tried it below, or if you would actually use this to reduce your caffeine intake or wean off coffee. Let me know in the comments. And you can also purchase this ceremonial grade cacao using my code Taylor10 at checkout, and you can use the referral link below to take you to Creation Cacao's online shop. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel, and you can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Much love, guys.